we're supposed to be talking about Jenna this week, and, looking at all the data that we get from the news.
There's so much misinformation in here.
There sure is.
Mine shows here that she was started her therapy when she was 14, and then had her corrective surgery when she was 18, and that she's now 27 years of age.
This one says 14 and 19, and doesn't even list her age.
At all.
And this one is even cooler. It says she had her therapy started at 14 and her corrective surgery in 2010, which is like
just 2 years ago. So one of them says she had it 8. So one of them says that she had her surgery 8 years ago. The other one says that she had it 7 years ago, and now it says 2 years ago. And one says.
Does anyone know?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
one of them says that she did it when she was 19, but yet here it says that she's 27, and that she's 27. She has had her surgery.
Couldn't have had it in
2010. Then that would only make her 21.
Right.
Typical media.
That's typical media, isn't it?
Media doesn't get anything right, so who knows how in the world they answer these things.
Yeah.
But, then again, they don't call us by the right things neither, so. They're probably going to stick me in the you-know-what.
I think so. Well, we know one thing. They're not going to deflate.
No, mine aren't balloons like yours.
Mine don't deflate. Hello to all of our wonderful viewers of Facebook, YouTube, and here on the GenderBlenders channel.
Hi.
Welcome to week 166. Last Friday, we received word that Jenna Talackova was disqualified from competing in the Miss Universe Canada contest because she was, quote, born male. And for this week, one of our viewers, Jamie, hi Jamie, asked us to consider the following issues and questions. 1, is there a clear definition of competition rules to consider? And are rules rules? 2.
Are rules rules? Oh.
That isn't what it says here.
Are rules policy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should Jenna have divulged this information when filling out the application? 3. Is the rule itself clearly an issue of discrimination? We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
And 4, is Jenna's disqualification discrimination? Subtly different question.
Subtly different, but yet the same. And yeah, I don't know. Gosh. Yeah, is there clear definitions of the of the competition rules to consider? And rules. Well, rules are normally set as being policies. Policies
right.
that they go by and they apply to everyone.
That's right.
Okay, as far as those who are in the competition, in entering the competition. The problem is when rules are put in there to discriminate against someone, a person, place, or thing.
Exactly.
Okay, and obviously, okay, well, look at the source. It came from Donald Trump. We all know how he is very biased and uneducated about many things. Yeah, he has a lot of money. Yeah, he is very strong-winded and likes to fire people. But the problem is that he does and has for a long time spoken out and not actually supported our president regarding the LGBT community and not discriminating against people. And of course, with this having been his pageant, that's probably why he didn't throw it here in the United States and is throwing it up there in Canada, perhaps thinking that maybe he could get away with those rules in Canada, or obviously it wasn't the case neither.
And it's strange because Canada has a lot of rules supporting our community.
Yes, they do. Big time. He should have absolutely known that. It just goes to show, how, uneducated he is. And should Jenna have divulged the information, when filling out her application? No. Once you're declared, you have all the legal binding, paperwork, the court order, your name change, your legal gender change, and all those things that go along with it, the driver's license, all of your IDs, your bank statements, everything else. Once you change your life, the other person is no longer existing.
That's right.
And again, this is where education plays a big part and role, because you have a lot of people who are going to be biased out there because simply they just do not understand certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the media out there. Well, every time, if I was to ever be in the media, first thing they do is they'd be turning around saying that I was a transgendered individual. Which, objection, no, I'm not.
That's right.
It doesn't matter though, because I support both the transgender and the transsexual community. There's a such thing as a gender identification disorder, and those people have an actual problem, and a lot of times they need to have their correction. And a lot of times we have transsexuals who are calling themselves transgender because for a long time there were so many pieces of misinformation coming out on the web, and people calling themselves transgender all the time, so like that people just got used to doing that. So if you're born both male and female, I was born. Everyone wants to get down to this genetic, the structures and so on and so forth, was XXY, XY.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I had both male and female parts, and in my body, and natural male and female parts. So would that disqualify me because back in 1955 they were unable to see my internal parts? So plain and simple, how does that play? Say, oh well, you were born male. No, I actually was born both. And one of the other things I was reading in here is you see a lot of these viewers and comments back, and they're coming from the biased and uneducated people out there.
Yes.
Saying once you're male, always male, even if you go and alter your body, so on and so forth. No, hun, ain't that way. When you transition, and you transition properly, and you get your corrective surgery, especially if you're transsexual, you change at a cellular level. You become female. You are female.
And that birth certificate would show her to be a female in any event.
Yeah.
My birth certificate does.
Oh yes, my birth certificate shows that I'm female too.
Mm-hmm.
Should she divulge any information otherwise about other than the fact that she's female? No, she's a girl. She's a beautiful girl.
She is.
Some of that stuff is irrelevant, to be honest with you. But if she is transsexual, she was born both male and female.
The WPATH standards of care are published. They're easy to get to. But yet the media keeps insisting upon calling everyone by the box term.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's because we have a lot of everyone's out there, including transsexuals, calling themselves by the box term.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another area of education that we need to do between ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, is the rule itself clearly an issue of discrimination? Of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it specifically states that you must have been born a natural female, it is saying that they are acknowledging the fact that there are unnatural females out there. So they are discriminating. And of course, what is our fourth question?
The fourth question is disqualification discrimination.
Well, what do you think?
Well, there's two aspects of that we can talk about. One, if you simply put on your bean counter hat and go by the rules as they were published,
Yeah.
well then, they're following the rules. And in that case, well, it is what it says. But on the other hand, that's why I said there's two aspects. The real aspect is exactly what you pointed out.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if Donald Trump, like I said, we have laws against discrimination here in the United States, and I wonder if he just thought that he could go ahead and run a discriminating one up in Canada and get away with it. And that's why he held it up there. I'm very curious about that.
So, again, one of the things that we've talked about a little bit in this video is the difference between transsexual and transgender.
Yeah.
Why would she need to divulge her birth condition?
Yeah.
After having lived over 8 years, as we said, and having her corrected self.
As her corrected self.
As her corrected self. She started her transition at 14,
Yeah. Yeah.
got her corrective surgery at 19,
Mm-hmm.
and is now 27. I mean, that's a relatively long period of time.
It is.
We've seen many posted release responses
Mm-hmm.
and comments, including those from with less education and those that have bias,
Mm-hmm.
saying, for example, the trans girl doesn't experience the cycles that
Yeah.
natural women go through. They cannot bear children, cannot ever genetically be a woman. And we kind of know that's false, don't we?
No, that is absolutely false. Because, first of all, okay, this is a little bit of education for all of you out there. Yes, we do go through some of the same cycles. I can tell you for a fact that I do. My doctor will tell you for a fact that I do too. I do have and go through my monthly cycles every 21 to 22 days, and because I have an actual uterus. I had both, and one is very functioning, and that's my uterus. So to say that we don't, and I'm transsexual, so yeah, I do experience that. A lot of I've heard some of these people sit there and go, "Oh, well, how can she say that she's transsexual? Because she's saying that she's never experienced being a guy." No, transsexuals don't experience being one gender versus the other or both genders. That's the problem. The problem is that they when they come into realization, most of the time upon conscious awareness, they realize that they are in or have a wrong part because they don't feel that way. They know that they're a girl, but they look down and they have an additional part. And in my case, that's exactly what happened. I had an additional part. So, and that's another problem. We have a lot of people who are fighting amongst ourselves that literally don't know what in the world it is that they're talking about. And if we don't agree with somebody else's ideals, then they start cutting you down and saying, "Oh, well, you're not this," and "Oh, well, you're not that," and so on and so forth. And as long as we're doing that, we're never going to get, we're still fighting amongst ourselves. We're not going to even get any rights established because we're still fighting amongst ourselves. We can't even agree that water is water. So, as far as that's concerned, cannot bear children. That's not true. I can be artificially inseminated. And a girl who actually has a uterus actually did have a child up in New York.
Exactly.
A year's been in, and they are now living incognito with her child, and her husband, and for this exact same reason. So to say that we can't have children, yes, they can. Yes, we can. And what about those women out there who, for one reason or another, can't have children?
Yeah.
Does that mean that they're a man? Should they go and reestablish their gender marker because they can't have children? I don't agree with that neither. So and we've just covered the part about genetics.
Right. Exactly.
Genetically, that's exactly what we do. You do not maintain your XY or YX or YY hormones or genes. Those actually are changed. You physically do change those things. That's why it is called transitioning. You are not just altering your body. You're not just slicing and dicing and becoming. I think one guy was literally saying that he, something like about, I could go through all these surgeries and stuff like that and become a dolphin. So they're going, this guy's nuts. This guy needs to get off the channel.
Well, I suppose that's possible. Why on earth would he was genetically born a dolphin? Oh, keep going.
Yeah, but was it discrimination? Absolutely, because first of all, the only thing that you would have ever had to have done, as mentioned to me, was Donald Trump. Of course, it's discrimination because that's what he does. He is known for that, and again, like I said, I think he was just trying to escape the law. Yes, I said that, Donald Trump. So, but you know what? The latest breaking news, stuff that we've got, and you're going to find it here, we're going to have some pictures appearing here between the two of us. So we got to kind of make sure we've got that space for me to put that picture up. No, don't need that. But But there's some late breaking news and so on and so forth, and the GLCA or GLAA, I believe it was, has been working with them. Yes, has been working with the pageant people, as well as working with other people in Canada and the legal gender recognition requirements and so on and so forth, and coming up with standardizing, and found out that's where, these things need to be moved, and they are having those rules all rewritten to where pageants here, both here in the United States and pageants there, are going to have to include that. Now, do we have transgendered pageants? We may have transgendered pageants here. I'm not sure if we do, or not. But if we do, if a regular woman wanted to come in there and be a part of the pageant, we would have to allow her to do that as well. We can't be biased and say, okay, well, what's good for the goose is not good for the gander.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we would have to. And I don't think we should be having transgender pageants, to be honest with you, unless it's where it's an all transgender place. I don't think they should be televised or there should be a national transgender event. No, I don't think that should happen, because again, that is being biased, and I don't think we need to be that way. But the Vancouver Sun, it says on Monday, is spiraling controversy and growing, outline on Talackova organizing after she had been removed from the pageant. This has now changed, and this was in the Vancouver Sun. The Los Angeles Times, also the same thing. And in the UK and Ireland, Lifestyles over in the UK, they have all of this. And it says, this is Jenna Talackova, a Canadian-born beauty queen, and she may now be able to take part in the Miss Universe Canada competition after her having been rejected from running last week. Okay?
So now, after all the uproar, she's now allowed to be able to compete in that competition.
Yes. And here's one of the other things, they're very explicit in the article. Donald Trump, this attorney goes, she either runs or she doesn't. If she runs, that's fine. If she doesn't run, that makes fun. I'm happy about that too. So, he just takes no sides because he knows he's in trouble if he does. So, but it says, it says it's a 27-year-old Jenna Talackova, and by the way, she's not 27, she's 23, okay, was originally disqualified from the Donald Trump organized event because she was born male. That should never have been a question, and whoever divulged that, if it was the media, shame on you. If it was anyone else, because plain and simple, that should have ever been in there. She was selected as one of the 65 finalists, but was dropped from the pageant for her profile. And her profile and photo were stripped from the Miss Universe Canada website. That was just totally wrong.
Sure.
Okay. But then on Monday, the organization revoked its decision, according to NBC and ABC and CBS News. And in an email, Dr. Michael Cohen, Executive Vice President of Special Counsel to Donald Trump, said the Miss Universe organization will allow Jenna Talackova to compete in the 2012 Miss Universe Canadian pageant, provided that she meets all the legal recognition requirements of Canada, which she obviously did. They're just trying to put in legal mumbo jumbo, and the other standards established by other international competitions, and she does that. But that's why they were having it in Canada, because that would be discrimination, and that rule would not have been able to have been in there. Mm-hmm. She does meet all those requirements. Okay, in an interview, Mrs. Talackova says that she began her hormone therapy at the age of 19. And she had her gender corrective at the age of 14, and had her gender corrective surgery at the age of 18. One of them says 14 and 19, and another one says 13 and 18. So who knows when she did it? That's the media for you. That's why I'm saying they're always calling people by the wrong things, and they don't even get the ages and the dates right. So, but in any case, it's looking like, according to all the news media and everything else, that Jenna's actually going to be able to compete.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't blame her for holding off. Yes, and because she has stated that she wants to make sure that this doesn't happen again, okay,
Yeah.
to anyone else. And
Well,
I happen to agree with
I
that.
would agree with that.
Yeah, because you know,
Yeah, the poor
it's
girl went through enough. I mean.
oh, nobody knows the type of hell that a transsexual and some transgendered people go through in life.
Yep.
You know, identifying as being female and not being able and being afraid to come out of the closet about it because of fears of social pressures and dangers and threats and everything else. We go through a lot of hell, and for people to continue in the year 2012 to be as biased as that, it's like I said, I don't care how bad or evil you are, you can always find bad and evil people just
Mhm.
like the same. Okay? And I seen comments all over the place, from bad, and heck, to be honest with you, evil people, because it's an evil way of thinking.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, I didn't want to be transsexual, I was born transsexual. A midget doesn't want to be a midget. They're born a midget.
Yep.
A conjoined Siamese twin doesn't want to be a conjoined Siamese twin. They're just born that way.
Yep.
People born without legs, people born without feet and hands. Do you think these things are their choosing? And do you think that life is easy for them? Or for us as transsexuals? It's not a choice, people. And for you to treat it as if it is, and oh, we're sinning, so on and so forth, you know, think about this. There's a reason why God didn't just reach down in the sand and mold a girl and blow life into it the same way he did Adam. I think he put Adam to sleep and removed Eve from him. Think about that. In any case.
So what do you people think out there? How about leaving us some comments? Subscribe to GenderBlenders?
Yes.
Video responses?
Yes.
No.
We appreciate it as well.
Likes?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about some of those?
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. So until next week,
I'm Stephanie.
and I'm Stephanie.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.